Hello friends and potential friends. Well, let's see, today is June 13th, 2022. It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon and my weather station says it's 88 degrees out here. It was 90 earlier. I don't normally come out this time of day when it's this hot, but I figured I'd show you a little bit of the harsh reality of gardening in Florida. You can see that a lot of my strawberries are dying. There are a few of them still doing good. I've been watering just about every day, but a lot of them are not doing real well. Over in the other tower, I've actually still got some lettuce growing. It's all bolting, but it's still kind of alive. Now these Everglades tomatoes, they are impressive. These things just keep cranking out more fruit. There's one that's almost ready. See another one over there. A few more green ones. And I even have a few blossoms still showing up. These Everglades tomatoes were bred for Florida, and apparently that's holding true because they've been withstanding the heat. We've been above 90 degrees every day for the last 7 days, which according to my records is about 2 weeks early, but they still keep producing. So definitely we'll be planting these guys again, and incidentally I have saved a lot of seeds out of here. Let's go see what's going on in the backyard. Okay, here on the patio, these are Amish paste tomatoes, and they have yet to produce even one tomato. They're still growing. Now, I've been watering them regular, but they're not giving me any tomatoes. The ginger and turmeric, well, it's all kind of drooping a little bit in the heat right now, or at least the ginger is, and these things are in the shade. The rest of that bed, well, the okra over there is kind of drooping as well. Pineapples, they seem to like this weather. And that one is getting big. Over my other two towers, the potatoes in this one are yellowing. Probably will be pulling them before too long. But I want to give these seed pods a chance to ripen completely. I've only got 3 seed pods on these plants. All the ginger at the top is kind of, or not ginger, basil. It's all drooping in the heat as well. Oh, sun's going behind a cloud. That feels good. The other tower, all I've really got in here is some banana peppers and more batch of potatoes. The banana peppers are giving me some small peppers at least, and I've been munching on them from time to time. They tend not to make it into the house. I cleaned out that bed, and I don't think I'm going to put anything back in there. It's starting to come apart at the seams, and I think I'm going to have to pull that bed out and take it apart before long. My sweet potatoes from slips, well, they're still growing. Right now in the heat, they're all kind of drooping. But as soon as the sun goes behind the trees, they'll be perked back up again. And yes, they do get plenty of water. We've had almost an inch of rain in the last 3 days. But when it gets this hot, they send all that water down into their root, maintain it. And they'll pump it back up once the sun goes behind the trees. The rest of my Amish paste tomatoes, I have taken a few of these out that have died off, but they are still putting on tomatoes. Well, they still have tomatoes. They're not blossoming anymore, but there are a lot of tomatoes still in there, and I'm just waiting for them to ripen up. I have picked quite a few of them so far. Bell peppers are not doing very well at all. They're not growing too fast, and I'm not sure why. And then down at this end, the homestead tomatoes. These again are a variety that were grown to survive in Florida, and they are surviving. Got quite a few tomatoes on here. There's another one starting to ripen right back there. A couple more days I'll be able to pick that one. Haven't seen any blossoms recently, but they've still got plenty of tomatoes on them, so they're still hanging in there. Now, the sweet potatoes from seed, I was a little bit surprised when I came out and looked at these, because they don't look like they're being bothered by the heat at all. Look how thick those things are. But yet, if you look inside, all of these in the main part of the bed are kind of drooping because the sun's been beating down on them. Overall, those things are doing good. Now the okra, on the other hand, everybody says okra loves the heat. Well, the okra doesn't really love Florida heat. They droop like this every day too. But I am getting okra. There's a pod there, there's another one over there, there's a few more here and there. I'm just letting them grow because these ones in the center, these are hill country red okra, and they're supposed to stay soft and edible till they get to be about 6 inches long. So I'm just letting them grow and see how big they can get. And on the other side of the sweet potatoes from seed, we have a pepper bed. These are red Marconis at this end. And then we start with a few sweet banana peppers. Haven't gotten any Marconis yet, but I have had a few bananas. And there are some more blossoms coming on too. I guess they do deal with the heat okay. These guys are in the sun most of the day. They droop a little bit, but so far they're handling it. And it looks like that cloud moved away, so it's going to start getting hot on me real quick. Still got a few green onions in here, and I've been munching on those from time to time. There's the homesteads again. Now my kiddo corn is pretty much done. Some of the stalks have already died off. I have picked a number of ears of corn off of here, and I see I've got another one right here that I could pick. But there's still a little bit of green in that stalk, so I'll let it keep going. And I still have some tassels. And that one, I don't know. I don't think there's any pollen running around anymore. The beans gave it up, 2-3 weeks ago. And around here, the pink-eyed purple hull peas. I still keep seeing flowers from time to time. But I haven't seen any pea pods on here recently. But at least they're still putting nitrogen back in the soil, so I'll let them keep going. Now these Everglades tomatoes, I've been eating off of these regularly for the last couple of months. Or it seems like a couple of months. Most of the tomatoes don't make it into the house, but they do make it into my belly. These ones are struggling a little bit. It's becoming clear to me that my tomatoes need to be in the ground, not in pots. I cleaned out this bed. There was kohlrabi, eggplant, what else was in here? Oh, the kale. Yeah, kale gave it up because it couldn't compete for the sun with the kohlrabi. And then the kohlrabi gave it up because it couldn't handle the sun. Meanwhile, cabbage collards, 3 of them are still doing pretty good. I'm not picking off of these anymore. I mainly just want to see if they'll go to seed for me. And then finally the patience garden. I don't see much changes in there. It just keeps on growing. Once in a while it'll put up another asparagus spear to try to tempt me. So far I've been letting them fan out. Keeping my patience going, I hope. Oh, and the rest of the mini orchard. Well, most of the mini orchard is usually in the shade. You can see the back corner there is pretty much all shaded. Got the moringa, there's my mulberry, there's a blueberry back there, a pomegranate, my ponderosa lemon, sugar cane, few papayas here and there. I've got another pomegranate right up here. Seems to be hanging in there. Guava's looking pretty good. More papayas over here. Oh, and there's my loquat. I think it's probably up around 10 to 12 feet now. Another lemon back there. Most of the back half of my yard is in the shade most of the day. It's just right here in the middle of the day when parts of it get out in the sun. So everything seems to be growing pretty good out here. Not as fast as it could if it got more sunlight, but it is growing. Oh look, the spider web. Let's go see what kind of spider we got. Oh, that's a little crab spider. I'm going to come around from the other side and see if I can get a good view of that. Hang on a second. Okay, let's see if we can zoom in on the crab spider a little bit and get it to focus. Come on, focus. Nope, I don't think that's going to focus. Those are pretty little things. Their shell is shaped like a blue crab, but the coloring is quite a bit different. And that guy is only about a 1/4 inch long. But they're cute little things. They don't cause any trouble unless you walk through their webs. So, as soon as the sun came out from behind that cloud, I started dripping again. So I think I'm going to cut this short and head back in the air conditioning. That's where I prefer to stay this time of day. Things are still growing. Some of them look like they're suffering, but they're just conserving water. A few things I've had to pull out, and I'll be pulling more before too long. Whew, and it is hot out here. I think we probably went back up over 90 again, so I'm going to get back inside with the air conditioner where I really should have stayed. Maybe I'll sit in there and edit this thing. But in the meantime, I'll see you next time.